Hello, I'm sorry, I made a few videos which didn't have any sound. If anybody is interested in doing YouTube or whatever, I strongly recommend that you don't use a thing called Ecamm because it's unreliable. And I'm afraid I've made a commitment to Ecamm, so I have no choice. But I don't recommend it. Beyond that, I was talking earlier about the Biden funding, which is now going to donate 61 billion euros to $1 billion to Ukraine. And this is great. This is great, but it's been held up for so long because of this difference between the commitment and the reality. He says he's going to sign it into law as fast as possible so that real weapons and support can get through to Ukraine within the next week or so. The whoever coined the adage "better late than never" had clearly never had to deal with deadlines and with the reality of a commitment. And I'm afraid the modern American position comes very close to that inadequacy. The the delays in making good on the rhetoric have cost Ukraine dearly and have cost the West dearly. In the same way, Rishi Sunak has today announced that he's going to trim back the number of civil servants by 72,000 to the number of civil servants that were in existence before COVID broke out in order to fund an increase in the defence budget. Now, on Radio 4 this morning, on the Today programme, Grant Shapps was being interviewed. He's not the brightest boy. And the interviewer pointed out this would be £17 billion and a reduction of 72,000 civil servants will not generate 0.5% of GDP, the £17 billion. So the spreadsheets which he talks about, the confidence that he has in Rishi Sunak as a former Chancellor and Jeremy Hunt as a current Chancellor, both of them very good with spreadsheets. It's not enough. It's not enough to convince me, or indeed anybody that I speak to, that this is a commitment to reality rather than rhetoric. This is a rhetorical flourish before a general election. Maybe this is an indication the general election is coming up in the summer rather than in the autumn or winter. But it's words, it's wordplay rather than reality. It's the right wordplay, but a commitment needs to be followed up by a show of reality. And incidentally, I'm entirely in favour of trimming back the bureaucrats, but I have an awful feeling that the bureaucracy will be trimmed in those unring-fenced areas. The real bureaucrats who need to go are in the NHS and in education. What we need in the NHS and education is targeted bureaucracy, and we need to stop overpaying those bureaucrats who sit on a phone and simply ring up a doctor to get him to or get her to fill in for somebody who is off sick. We need to have enough doctors in our hospitals, which means we shouldn't be paying some bureaucrat to sit on the phone. We should be paying a doctor to actually do the job. And similarly with nurses. And we've got into a lazy situation in the NHS where the people who we pay a lot to are the bureaucrats, the civil servants, and we don't pay enough to the people who are actually doing the work. And if we really got that bureaucracy working, then we wouldn't have the sort of nonsensical mistakes that are routine in the NHS. And indeed, every time I interface with the NHS, there's yet another mistake exposed. So you know the fact the NHS is run by an insurance company, and it's a nonsense. It's not designed. It's not designed at the moment to help us. It's designed to help itself and avoid taking responsibility. And it needs to change that approach. It needs to change that way of thinking. And the adage which was put forward by Jeremy Hunt that extraordinary adage about deny, delay, and what was the other one? I forget what it was now. But it was something that he put forward in 2015. It was wrong then, and it's wrong now. And deny, delay, defend. In fact, he got the. It was put forward in 20. It's based on a book, delay, deny, defend, and Jeremy Hunt quoted it as delay, defend, deny. It's been quoted in various forms, but it originally comes from a book about insurance by Jay Feynman, published in 2010. And that seems to be the attitude of the NHS. It was wrong when Jeremy Hunt quoted it. It's wrong now. It remains wrong, and it's about too many bureaucrats, too many civil servants, and you don't find them going on strike, do you?